Kia ora, good morning. I woke up, just had my breakfast, but I've been sitting with the dream that I had because I passed out after I recorded that last dream. I just passed straight back out again. Um, I'm dreaming a lot. I'm dreaming every time I go to sleep. Um, I'm remembering them too, which is, I swear it's because of the vitamins I'm taking. Um, I've been sitting trying to think how to, I know what it means, but I'm trying to figure out how to explain it. So I had a dream that there was a whole pile of us. My boys were there. Oh, something's just fell off my drawer. Um, Sorry, something just fell off the side of the drawer. Um, there was like a whole gang of us. I didn't I didn't know any of these people other than my boys. And we were all wearing um, like jeans and flannel shirts and baseball caps and boots and all that. We were all dressed like construction workers, I guess. And this truck turned up with all this material, all this building material. And it was like, with the Amish and that, how they have those barn raising days where they'll all get together and raise a barn. There was all this table, like there was this table full of food. There was a couple of tables joined together, full of food and like drinks, and it was the most beautiful sunny day. It was the most beautiful sunny day. I remember standing watching everybody building this house and just being amazed at the view. There was these trees at the back of the house. I remember the sun was so beautiful and golden. We started really early in the morning, and there was like barbecues and stuff, cooking breakfast for everyone. There was, and there were these tables, and people were doing their thing and then going and getting breakfast and sitting down and eating like sausages and bacon and egg and fried potato and toast and coffee as the sun was coming up. And then when the sun came up fully and everyone was full and ready to go, they all got the stuff that had been taken off the truck, and it wasn't a barn they raised, it was a house. And I wasn't allowed to do anything because of my tummy. Like they were saying, don't you do anything, don't you do anything because you'll hurt your tummy. But I was doing my bit. Like there were these men standing over the blueprint, and I was like holding the blueprints down, putting things to hold the blueprints down. I was filling up the urn to make sure that there was hot water so that they could have their coffee. Like I was doing my bit. There was bottles of water on the table, and I was filling the urns back up and making sure there was hot water so they could have their coffee or make their tea and that. So I was doing my bit, but I wanted to be like everybody else who was dressed for raising this house because I didn't want to feel left out. But I don't know how they did it. I can't explain how they did it, but they built this house in a day. It was like how the Amish raise a barn, but it wasn't a barn they raised, it was my home. and there were trees at the back, and it was like my dream come true house. It had a porch. They put a ribbon on the door so that I could cut the ribbon before we went in, but the weird thing was when we opened the door, all the furniture was already there. Some of the furniture even looked like it had been handmade. Like the cabinets were made by hand. It wasn't like a kit set kitchen. These cupboards had been made by hand. And like the dressers and the bookshelves that like had all been made by hand. People were people helped me and my boys build my dream home. It had the most beautiful porch. My dream house. It was the house that love built. It was like all the people that loved me, although I don't know who these people are in real life, all got together to help me build this house. And then all I remember was coming out the front door. So I don't know whether it was like days later, weeks later, I don't know. It was a 2-story house. It was nice and big. It was just like the perfect homestead. I'll find a picture to show you to put in the thumbnail, but it was like my dream home. And I don't know if we'd been living in there a while. But like the front door led into, like you came down the stairs and it led to the front door. So when you came in the front door, if you kept walking into the hallway bit, you go up the stairs to take you to the rest of the house, but there were rooms on the left and rooms on the right. And when I opened the front door and came out onto the porch, I know it doesn't make any sense, but it's a dream. When it's springtime and I can just hear that Greek song again. Every time I hear that song, I always think of spring, like springtime, when there's still like a little bit of frost on the ground, there's like dew on cobwebs and that, but all the flowers are up, and as soon as the sun comes up and starts shining, like the wet ground all dries up from, the cold of the night. Do you know what I mean? That time in spring where it's still a little bit cold, but once the sun comes up, it's a beautiful day. And every time I hear that piece, I always think of like cobwebs with dew on it and like ladybugs and bumblebees, bees and the birds coming out and the ground still being a little bit wet and it's still a little bit cold, but once the sun comes up, everything dries out. That kind of like the beginning of spring. So that's the second dream in a row now where I keep dreaming about spring. And spring is in the next couple of weeks. We got Valentine's Day in 12 days too. I've only ever had 2 Valentine's Days in my entire life. And when I opened the door, the foundation was I was looking straight at the foundation. And I had always said that when I bought my land to build my foundation, I would love to be able to buy enough land where I could build my homestead at the back, so I'm there keeping an eye on everyone, but I'm at a distance where I can just let everyone do their thing where they don't feel like I'm hovering over them. But I can walk to them if I want. I can take my little golf cart down to them if I want. Like I'm right there. And then if anyone needs me or the kids need me or anything like that, I'm right there. I remember many years ago when Paul and I first got married. We got married 12th of February 1994, I think it was, 12th of February 1994. And in the Easter, not long after we got married, all my family hired out this camp, like a holiday camp thing with chalets and a big, like, communal kitchen and all that. We hired it out because we're a big whānau. And it was that kind of weather. It was for Easter, and it was exactly that kind of weather. He was in the last dream too. So something from my past is coming back around that's going to help me build my new life. Because remember, I say that buildings and dreams represent how you're feeling at the time. This house was all brand new. It was people coming together to help me build my dream home for me and my boys. And the foundation was right there. So it's subconsciously, it's like I'm seeing my future being built in front of me. I'm seeing my new life, my new beginning, the dawn of my spring season is starting to manifest. I can see it. It's right there. And I'm going to have help. I don't know where it was. It looked like somewhere like Montana or South Dakota or something. I honestly don't know. I don't know. Judging by my last dream, I mean, my teacher had always said the land of A's. I'd go to the land of A's where people would welcome me with open arms. But that could be anywhere. But if it's a resurrection, it's got to be America, Canada, or Russia. I think when I translated Vladimir Putin or Russia or like in their language, it was all full of A's. I don't know. I'm not. It looked like American farming, where they have like the stables and all of that. But cold enough where it snows. Because I won't live anywhere where it doesn't snow. But yeah, my foundation was at the far end of the property. And I was just standing there and I could smell like the bakery, with my bakers making the bread for the bakery, like I could smell it. I could see my security guards and all that, like checking the parameters and doing their thing, going past and giving a wave, and I could see people milling about, getting ready to start the day. And I just remember thinking when I was standing on my porch, it was all worth it, and life can't get any better than this. And then my boy, my eldest boy, came down the stairs and he goes, "Have you put breakfast on yet?" Which is so Thomas. "Have you put breakfast on yet?" And I said, "No, I'm just coming. I wiped my hands on my apron, though I don't know why I wiped my hands, but I had my apron on. And then I just turned around and shut the door and, was getting my boys breakfast and to get my boys breakfast, and then I woke up. I just, I don't want to go, I don't want to lose that feeling. I don't want to go about my day. I don't want to, I almost want to just freeze time so that I can stay in that feeling because I was in my dream home. My boys were there. We were happy. It was a beautiful home. My dream home. I had my school right in front of me, like it was all there. The town was there. I, I call I call it my town because of the layout and the shops and everything. But I call it the town, my town. Going into town, I'm just going to go into town. People will say I'm just going to go into town, but they're talking about like the shops and that at the foundation, and I don't want to. I don't want to lose that feeling. It was like it was all over and done with. Like my vision. Oh, I'm going to get emotion. It's like my vision was standing right in front of me, and it was there, and it was actually being built, and it was real. It was all real. I can smell the smells. I can still feel the sun on my back. And I don't want to lose that feeling because it was the most incredible, complete feeling of love and peace and harmony I've ever felt in my life. And it's all because these people came together to help me build it. So the house that love built, they were doing it because they loved me. They were doing it because they believed in what I was doing. They were doing it because they loved the children, because they want to build a better future for the children. So I'll find a house in Juglur to show what I'm talking about, my dream home. It's like a homestead, a proper American style homestead. And it had tons of land and there were trees at the back because I've always envisioned of having like a forest so that I could feed the bears and wolves and um, put bird feeders out like in the forest and that feed the birds, leave food out for bears and wolves and deer and but wild ones. My son used to say, my youngest used to say, "Well, Mama, don't don't feed them near the property, because we don't want wolves and bears thinking they can come up to the house. It might be dangerous." He's very, yeah. I'd say, "No, don't worry. I just want to watch them from the porch." So I don't want to lose this feeling. I know when I turn the phone off, I'm going to have to get up and put the kettle on and make my coffee and wash my hair and that, and then it's going to fade from memory, which is why I'm recording it because it was the most beautiful feeling to finally be where I've wanted to be like forever. So I don't really need to interpret it because it's obvious. It's all. Do you know what it's almost like? It's almost like, remember in the last stream I just recorded, when my ex handed me that gift bag. It's almost like what was in the gift bag was the future. Like he was handing me a gift that was going to build my future. The gift bag was what I was seeing in the second dream, if that makes sense. So, yeah, the cabinets and everything were all beautiful, all made from like recycled wood and just, oh, I don't want to, oh, and I'm going to have to turn this off and the vision's going to go away. But anyway, the house that love built, I always said that was the Dragonarium for the kids that we rescued, but in this dream it was my family home, my homestead. So I'm going to go now, unfortunately. Boo! I'll find a picture and then you'll know what I'm talking about. I'll speak to you later. Ka kite anō. Mwah.